Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for a new battle report. I'm back with the Ogre. Let me maybe explain you a little bit the context, special context of the remaining months of the year. Normally I would probably play Milano as a big tournament remaining in the year. If you are in September, maybe there is another big tournament in France or so on, but something a bit smaller than Milano, but Milano would be the focus. And now this year we have the Interregio, which is the biggest event in France. It's a huge event. This year we are over 300 participants, so really it's the key objective of the year for me and the team. And I will be attending this one, Interregio, with 5 guys from the ETC Switzerland, so we want to do good during this tournament. And I'm searching a little bit what I'm going to play. It's most likely going to be the Ogre because I have more, how should I say? I'm more familiar with them since I played them over the past year. I've been trying a bit what I can do with Infernal Draft, but I'm still searching, still not so sure what fits my style and so on. I've been trying different things, and I think when I had most fun during the past year was with the Ogre. So it will definitely be the Ogre. It's also more feasible for the painting part because the special particularity of the Interregio is the fact that you have a huge painting part. You have actually a painting score with a ranking separated from the combat score, we could say, tournament score, and then both of them together make the Interregio final ranking, meaning a painting is like, I think, a third, something like that. So it's really important. So we are all doing presentation board, working on our minis, and I've been doing quite a lot of painting recently. I will show you in a separate video shortly before the Interregio how my army looks like and explain you a bit what I did. Basically, it's the tournament will be at the end of October, 31 October, 1 November. And until the more or less the end of September, I have time to come up with a list. Over the past year, I've been playing the ESC with a Wild Earth list. I've been playing a bit with the Death Star as well, so I've been trying different things. And now I need to decide myself, so I will be doing a couple of practice games to decide myself which one fits better, or meta, or weakness within the team, and the overall meta as well. So the list I was playing for this game was double cannon, double slave giant, double king eater, double mammoth hunter. The usual core I was playing: 8 bruisers, 3x3 tribesmen, a Ken BSB with a standard of discipline, iron fist, magical resistance 1, binding scroll, and then the master thaumaturgy with magical heirloom, Ligatong, iron fist as a general. That was more or less my list, with a saber-tooth tiger as piece of chaff, additionally to the tribesmen who can also act as chaff. My opponent, I think he was from Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. He was playing the quite common Dwarven list with basically 2 very strong characters. One time the king with strength 6, multiple wound d3. One time the dragon seeker with strength 10 against toughness 5 and multi-wound against everybody in my army, basically. 7 attacks, agility 8, so really tough. The king has the old stone, then a BSB with the breast, an anvil, and runic smith to provide a good magical support. In core, 30 greybeard, so big block with throwing weapon, shield, vanguard, and full command. 10 marksmen with handgun, 2x10 miners, 9 seeker with the option to be a skirmisher. 2 steam bomber, 1 flame cannon, interesting choice, not so expensive, and it is a threat for big blocks. And 2x1 ballista with the runing option to be scout. So that was it. We played Encircle, All the Ground, spell selection, decided to go with the Comet, our breast weapon, Smite the Unbeliever, Hereditary, and Blast. My opponent took 2x Resilience, 1x Oath, 2x Gleaming, and 1x Revocation. What was my thinking of the matchup? 2 very fighty characters who are better than all my characters with multi-wound, so really hard to fight them. I will try to deal with the Seeker from distance. He has only 9 Seeker plus the character, so if I can reduce that and then cannons type, the Lord would be quite happy, to be honest. And I will try to avoid the King. Problem is, we are playing all the ground, and this seems more or less mission impossible. Because with the Death Star, as strong as he has, he can put himself on the scenario and be really tough than to remove him from the center. So I need to move around, to be smart, to use my multiple high mobility scoring units, and maybe playing second, I can drop a unit, then flee, try some tricks like that. Of course, Keen Eater, Mammoth Hunter are great pieces in this matchup. And also, when you play all the ground, the opponent has a big unit with a lot of points invested in it. That means also that you have more stuff around him, so you can go on the side and push him. So this is also an interesting part of all the ground. And one of my key priorities, of course, to deal with the Seeker as soon as possible, to be able to move around the Death Star and maybe prepare something like a big combo charge towards the end of the game. Deployment, my opponent decided to drop everything. I had to choose a side. I took big center on the south part, like the hill, and be with the big center. So my opponent dropped the following. Here you have a bolt thrower on top, steam bomber, flame cannon, unit of Seeker with the Lord, anvil, a big block with all remaining character, second bolt thrower, crossbows, and the second steam bomber. On my part, decided to go a bit heavily to the left. So I did some thinking, and I thought the Death Star, basically, I cannot be in the middle, because, I mean, there is no chance I can beat this unit. So the middle seems a suicide. Then I thought, about the side. So either I go right, which would be the safe choice, because then I can go to this part of the board, and basically it will never catches me. I can get a couple of points and try to go around and maybe go in the back line, more or less. That could be the idea for the Death Star. Or I can try to go left, because if I go right, I can basically forget to use my Death Star to put any pressure on the secondary objective. And this would be the safe scenario. And I decided to go with a more risky approach to try to do this, because we are in a practice game, and I wanted to see if I'm able or not to put a bit of pressure on the center by starting from the left part with my Death Star. So basically I put myself far to the left, out of 24 from Flame Cannon for turn 1. Because I saw that I can put a lot of pressure with both Hunter on the Flame Cannon or even the Anvil. So I decided to go quite aggressive with both Hunter, and then my Death Star, basically the idea is to deal as soon as possible with Flame Cannon, then move up with the Death Star, try to kill Seeker from distance, and then put pressure on the flank of the big unit, while at the same time also threatening to score with small scoring unit on the side. So he will have to choose between looking to the left, looking to the front, and then I will have a lot of scoring around him. That was a bit the idea. And to the right, just use a cannon to zone a bit, shoot bomber, shoot possibly then the bolt thrower. I have a lot of targets. And then I put a giant to the left to protect a bit the unit to the left to the miners against the miner, and this one to protect my backline against the miner in the second part of the game. So that was a bit the idea. And the BSB started in the middle to provide reroll to everybody where needed. So let's move on to Eastern 1. It comes pretty aggressively, so move 9, and here you can see first mistake, I was a bit too further up, didn't anticipate enough his movement, and I should have been just a couple of inch back, 2 or 3 inch back, to be able then to move back slowly behind the hill or try to do stuff, force him to come after me. And here I'm a bit too high, and this will be difficult to really move back, so that's a bit my problem. He moves up as well with the Seeker, but still I have possibility to have charges with the Hunter, which is interesting for me. And then, what else? Move back with the Anvil and move a bit the Steam Bomber to shoot at me. In the magic phase, he put hard target on this unit. I dispel revocation. He put -1 to wound on the Seeker. Basically, I don't plan to go right now in the Seeker. I want to go around and try to kill stuff around. Flame Cannon does 2 wounds to the BSB's unit. Bolt thrower does 4 wounds against my Death Star, which is not bad. And that's it for his turn 1. My turn 1, I get a charge on a 6 Swift Strike with my Hunter onto the Flame Cannon, which is interesting. And then the rest are movement. I'm able to go out of arc and go around with Bruiser, who are hatred in this game, which is bad news. And then put my cannon here, both out of arc, out of charge range. So be able to threat the Seeker with magic. I decided not to charge Bomber because I was facing most likely a Flea, and then I would fail charge and get killed by Seeker, which I didn't like. So I decided to go 14 and threat the Anvil. And here to the right didn't move because I have a nice shot, 24 onto the Steam Bomber. And here I move everybody back, but I misplaced totally my BSB, because if he's able to get a charge, then he could overrun on either this unit or this unit. He could overrun onto the BSB. He has a 10 on the dice to this one, an 11 on this one, but this is still too big of a risk. And here you see, if I was just 2 inches back, I would have given him no charge, and that was quite easy to measure at the beginning of the game. So here I misplaced my unit at the deployment stage, and I will get punished probably for it. Magic Face. I forgot the fact that I wanted to target the Seekers, so I cast a blast against this guy, put 2 wounds on him, and then I'm able to get a Comet. This is really rare, but this time I decided to cast a Comet on 4 dice. I saw 4 dice against 3 remaining. It's a bit of a risk, but at the same time, I really need to kill some Seeker and maybe diminish a bit the Death Star, so I put a Comet more or less here in the middle. My cannon, nice shot, 4+ hits, wounds, and kill the Bomber, which is the good news. And then close combat, I did only 4 wounds to him, but that's the good news because he's stick, so I'm protected in combat. And then I get the juicy free pivot and possible rear charge on Seeker, or threat a lot of things around me, which is really nice. His turn 2. Of course he takes the bait. He charges, needing a 10. I need the 8 to flee off the board. I flee off the board, panic with the cat. Giant was fine. He redirect, charges the other unit on the 11 dice, still didn't fancy the risk. I needed below 9 to stay on the board, or on 9 go out of the board. So yeah, that's life. I mean, yeah, I think in this kind of situation it's important not to be stubborn and just say, okay, I will live with my mistake and take the risk, because if my opponent roll 10 and then get my BSB, or roll 11 and get my BSB on this, I'm in a really bad shape and give out a lot of points, plus free combat reform and so on. So I think prefer to sacrifice 200 points and 2 important scoring in this unit than lose the BSB and the pass of the game. So yeah, that was a bit the big mistake, which was punished by my opponent. Well done for him. And here's, yeah, of course, covering the back was important, but maybe I can rely on the BSB to cover the back, and should put my giant looking this way to protect the flank of the BSB, the general's unit, because now general is in between 2 very strong units, and this is not smelling good. Flies over me, puts a wound, and chaffes me, and here you see the 2 wounds. I would have preferred to have 2 Seeker less to try to blast them and then kill them maybe with a cannon shot or do something different. So a bit disappointed about my play here. Now what can I say? Basically I observed that the Seeker's unit was too far away from the Runic Smith, which is good news because he has only 3 spells which whom he can boost this unit, and here you can see that I will have a possible triple charge with these 3 units against his unit of Seeker, which is not bad. It could be a good chance to deal with them, so I decide to Binding Scroll the -1 to wound from the Anvil, and then I dispel both hard target distracting and revocation on the Seeker unit, and then basically we'll boost a little bit his Death Star. The Comet will come down, but to a really low roll I will do nothing. And then with shooting, this guy will lose 1 wound from the crossbow. We'll do 1 ward save from a bolt thrower with this guy, so I was lucky. And then with throwing weapon, he was able to do 4 wounds to my bruiser unit. And here you see, I think that Abrasius, who made this comment when he made this video about the core of different armies, and I think he was having a good point when he said that problem is with the Death Star of the Ogre, basically when you lose a couple of wounds, then when you go in combat, you will lose attacks before you strike because you have great weapon, which is problematic. So that's something that the Death Star of the Ogre don't like, is losing wounds when you have only 8 models, and now losing 4 wounds leaves me with not a lot of bodies for going into combat. So that's a bit bad news for me. Close combat, of course, I kill the flame cannon reform. Turn 2, I triple charge the Seeker. Yeah, of course, it's risky, but I had no choice. Because of the placement of this unit, I had no choice. I couldn't go around and go out of arc of everybody. I was blocked by the Seeker as well, the Miner as well, so... Also, a bit lack of... that's something that I often lack, is the planification to see where I could go, and I could have placed possibly my Comet better. I could have given me a bit more room to maneuver around. Also, here I was forced to take the charge. So, at least he has no combat boost, and I need to get some to try to kill him. I took the charge against Chaff. 1 Keen Eater comes on the board to threat them, and I completely forgot about these guys. I will really focus on the charge, and then I completely forgot to chaff them with the Giant, which is really, really stupid, because now I have to either kill everybody in this unit, which might be difficult with the strong character, and if I don't do so, I have to reform to be able to take this charge, which is stupid, because I could have put the Giant to chaff and minimize the contact on the charge. So, really stupid. Here I move around to contest the scenario, so at the moment nobody's taking it. And I move a bit around with BSB Giant, still trying to protect a bit. I rally the dog, move forward with the cannon to shoot at the ballist, bolt thrower. And that's it. Alright, my magic. I have a low phase, unfortunately, the small Scarred. I cast an hereditary 3 dice, so 5 dice against 4. 3 dice hereditary. I roll double 1 and something and fail. And then 4 against 4, I roll a random -1 strength of toughness. My opponent dispels it, and then with 2 dice, luckily, I'm able to put the breast weapon onto the hunter. Problem was, I couldn't cast the breast weapon onto this guy because he might die. It's very likely that if his character strikes against me, he kills me. His placement was really good here on the side. I had no way to contact any other than that, so I have to face probable death of the shaman. So I couldn't give the shaman the breast weapon because he might die before he strikes. So I gave it to the hunter. Breast weapon strength 5, which is good news. The cannon did 2 wounds on the bolt thrower, which is good news. And then close combat, I didn't challenge because if I challenge with the hunter, I could take it with the champion. If I challenge with the champion, he could take it with the champion. If I challenge with my shaman, he could take it with his character. Now let's make his point of view. If he challenged me with the champion, I could challenge with the shaman, save my shaman, and then he could strike with him against the cannon only, which is not so good for him. If he challenged with the character, I could take it with the hunter. It's a very dicey combat. Basically, is on 6 attack, 3 up, 2 up, no reroll whatsoever. But then he has lethal strike, multi-wound 2, and strength 10. Very dicey. He might kill me, but that might be a good chance. If I take it with the shaman, I'm dead. If I take it with the champion, of course, shaman survive, and everybody can strike against the unit, but this guy is alive. And I think I didn't take the right choice, because he made the in my point of view, it was a mistake to challenge with the character, because I could have had the chance to kill him with the hunter and to delete the whole unit and to be free and to avoid the minus. Or take them in 1 against 1, which is something a bit different. So I think what I should have done is take the challenge with the hunter, because I still have a chance of surviving. And if I survive, I have breast weapon, I have impact hits, and rerollable stomp, so I will kill him. So I think that would have been my best chance, to be honest with you. But I take it with champion, he kills my champion, maximum overkill and so on. I kill everybody on the unit, there is only the character alive, and of course I'm still in contact with everybody, so I have to compensate my mistake here by making a clever reform, so to say, and to face the miner to at least not take a big flank charge. But basically here, if you see, it's a big problem, because then I have to take next turn the challenge with the hunter, and this time he will have the opportunity to have combat buff, and he might also kill me, but that's my only chance. If my hunter dies during this challenge, basically I'm done, because then I will lose everything in this combat, so it's very difficult. It's turn 3, so he charges with the miner. Of course I could have chaffed, I should have. He comes here with the anvil, he cannot go out of arc, he comes in with second unit of miners. reform this guy to be able to boost the Seeker. And now we have an important magic phase where I need to be smart. He has 10 dice, I have 6 dice. And basically, I thought about what are my chances to kill him. Basically, my best chance are Breast Weapon Strength 5 and reroll to wound D3 plus 1 Stomp. So I don't care really about distracting our target. I don't care too much about him rerolling to wound because he already wound me on 2+. So I decided to dispel. I let distracting our target on the Seeker because I don't care. -1 to wound, first time I dispel. Reroll to wound, I let that in, and then I dispel again -1 to wound on the Seeker. So this is not so bad. 2 buffs, but not the most important buffs. Shooting, the Miner put 1 wound onto my Hunter, and that's it. So my Hunter survives and will be able to charge the Anvil, which is good news. The Greybeard, I forgot about that. They have a throwing weapon. They were able to put 7 wounds, only with 15 guys, 7 wounds, so half the unit, 7 wounds onto the Tribesmen, who passed the panic check, so at least they survive, they can still contest the scenario. And the Hunter this time takes the challenge. I still have more or less the same odds as before, except that he has reroll to wound, but it's still 6 attack, 3+, 2+. So it's more or less the same as before. He kills me. He rolls a double lethal strike plus 1 wound unsaved, so 6 wounds. So basically I had no chance, either this round or the round before. So now I know that I'm in a certain death scenario for this combat. The miners do a lot of wounds to me, like 7 wounds, so I'm in auto break scenario. He makes me flee this direction, and I'm really lucky because with 3 dice I roll a 10 with them, and with 2 dice and 11 on them, he rolled 2 times this with this guy, 3 dice 7, and this guy's 2 dice 7. So I'm a bit lucky. It was a bit 50-50 to get Cough, but I'm lucky to be able to flee with 2 guys plus the Shaman remaining. The Chariot flees in the front of them, so chaffs them more or less. So I'm a bit lucky, but this Hunter is dead, and of course I'm in the bad shape, but I was really lucky to escape. My turn 3, rally my guys, took the charge with the BSB. He decided to flee, needed a 9 on 2 dice to catch him. I fail. Take the charge here with possible overrun, pass onto the bolt thrower, move forward but wasn't careful. He's able to move out of arc, which is stupid. I should have angled a bit better, was a bit too quick. Rally everybody, and here I try to compensate my shitty display on the left part of the board by putting kind of interesting flee options. Basically, if he charges, he has 2 charges option. First one is the king charge alone onto this unit. A flee direction would be through them, so I would end up here. So basically, my shaman would be safe after the flee, which is interesting. Second option, the Lord, Killy Lord, charges me if he survives to my magic with 2 wounds remaining. Not so likely, but you never know. If he charges me, I can flee and go over them and be in a safe position as well. So, which is not bad. And then he can redirect either onto the giant who can flee as well, or onto the BSB who can flee as well. So, not in a bad shape. Kineter was too far away, move 12. And then I put the cat back. And second Kineter comes here to threat the second unit of minus. Basically, I was in a reaction mode with my Kineter against minus. In Magic Phase, I cast the End of Even, Dispel, and then I cast Breast Weapon, Strength 5. Of course, I kill him with the Breast Weapon. So, nice, really nice. Was a bit lucky. Try also to cast I guess, Smite the Unbeliever here, random, but fail. And with the cannon, I was able here to kill the Bolt Thrower. So, 3 turns, 3 hits, a couple of wounds. Really nice. Nice job by the cannon. And here I was able to one-shot the Anvil. Really nice. With Strength 6, a lot of attacks, D3 impact hit was really nice. So I overrun to be as far as possible from the minus and to be within the field. And I guess that's it. The turn 4 will be the last turn of this game because it's UB, you don't want to spend too much time in practice game. We saw what we wanted to see, I guess. So yeah, he moved forward to shoot at me, rally the minus, yeah, double charge me as planned, so I flee over and then flee second time with the BSB when he redirect the charge. So of course I have an 8 with no reroll for the BSB not to go out of the board. I still have a couple of inch before be out of the board, so maybe I have 2 chances. And here as well I can have an 8 rollable or 8 with no reroll. you never know. I might pass it, I might not, but still it was a better chance than be killed in combat by the king. What else? Yeah, he moved out of arc, obviously. Yeah, he puts a couple of spells onto the unit, but doesn't matter. My last turn, of course. So here, I charge with Keen Eater, the miner, they flee over the hunter, charge with the hunter, catches them. Here I double charge this guy, stand and shoot, plus shoot from last turn, did 3 wounds on me, but still was able to double charge them. And what else? And here you see the situation. I didn't chaff properly because we ended up here. It was just to see the position. I could either chaff with the chariot. I think in this case he could still reach me. So chariot would have chaff and then next turn possibly the cat. But basically I kill this and that's it more or less. Yeah, I catch the minus and that's it. What would have happened maybe in the turn 5-6? I think I had 2 options. Either, yeah, you keep your score, try to do a bit of damage, take them maybe with Hunter and that, and leave the Death Star. And I think most likely he would have got scenario. So +3 for him. Alternatively, what I could have done is prepare for a huge combo charge. Basically, in turn 4 and 5, give these 2 units as chaff, and then prepare the rest to Giant, to Keen Eater, a Hunter. Maybe you can debate over bringing or not these units and character on and this chariot. So a lot of units who could do a massive combo charge onto the Death Star, and let's see what happens. Basically, I could give one of my character in a challenge, hope I can survive with magic. Maybe at the BSB because he has no reroll against BSB. Maybe I survive, you never know. And the rest, everybody will strike on the unit. He has an Old Stone, but I think with the amount of impact hits, of stomps, this might be too much for this unit, so I might be able to win it towards the end, I think, with everybody going into this combat. But this would have been a bit dicey and interesting as well to see. So yeah, that's where we ended up, and of course it's not a bad time for me to end up because I still have this guy to contest the scenario, and I'm a bit lucky to end up with a 12-8 for me, which is really fortunate because the Death Star escaping, rally check, and my lone guy contesting the scenario, I could have lost easily 15-5, 5-15, so I'm really lucky. But I think that doesn't matter too much. It was interesting to see what happened in this game, what was done wrong, especially on my part, what was done right, and what I could take with me regarding some units and so on. Several mistakes, said it already, but I think during deployment, a couple of mistakes I will show you with a photo afterwards. With a picture, sorry. Not taking the challenge straight away with the Hunter, I think it was a problem because that was my only chance, if you think carefully, was my only chance of killing the whole unit this round and being free from combat with the bruises. But I think that was a mistake from him to challenge with the character. He should have challenged, just kill my mage and that's it. And not chaffing with the Giant against the miner was really bad, but at the same time the character Seeker was going to eat everybody in the combat. Once he killed the Hunter, I think I have no chance. Not properly covering the marksman was stupid, and I should have really focused the Seeker with damage. Even you never know with Thaumaturgy what you can do. I think Trial of Faith could have been interesting. Not sure the Comet was the best spell in this case. I cast it only once, didn't do much. I'm in a configuration when I'm playing all over the board. So I'm not sure the Comet is the best spell. I think Trial of Faith could have done something. Try to do wounds onto the Seeker with Breast, Trial and Blast. Would have given me maybe a better chance in this game. But it's always... it's always a big discussion. If you don't take the Comet, you always might regret it. But I think it's especially one point which make me say... Don't take the Comet in this case. It's the fact that he gives you with the Dwarf +1 for the casting roll needed, and 13 is just too much. Just too much, I think. For casting with 3 dice, you have a low chance of casting it. So I think Trial of Faith would have been better in this case. I was happy of the solution I found, more or less with combat reform and foremost with the flea corridor to be able to save, give a chance to save my Death Star. Hunter found good spot. I think my opponent could have been better to block them a bit. Could have made better blocking in this game to avoid me charging in turn 1 against the flame cannon. And going to turn 6, like I said, there were two choices: either go for it or accept a small loss, I think. Regarding deployment, I told you already, I was thinking about it during the deployment stage. I wanted to take a bit more risky approach to see if I'm able to do it. But replaying this game, I would go with Bruiser on the right, going in the safe zone. And that's a lot of points in this unit, and I couldn't afford to take so many risks. So I think Bruiser here, and either, with no surprise, I think he will go for this scenario. But if he decides to go around, I can always go inside, but I don't think he will do that. But with Vanguard, you never know, he could redeploy a bit more or less himself and try to go Seeker here and Death Star here. That's why I need to keep some threat on the left part to force him to be here with the Seekers and to force him go Death Star for the scenario. And yeah, like I said, put the Tribesman darts a bit more to the back to be able to move behind the hill, to be out of charge range after turn 1. So there are a couple of details that I could have done better, but foremost the placement of the Death Star. I think that was, it's too risky to be on the left side. I was also lucky to be able to deal with the Flame Cannon so early in the game, because Flame Cannon is also problematic for the Death Star. So I think in hindsight, should have put the Death Star to the right, would have been the safer approach. Yeah. That's it about this game. I hope you like the battle report, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and talk to you soon on my channel. Bye.